Get ready to dive into the deepest history of planet Earth. Forget for a moment the silent glow of distant galaxies and the dusty expanse of Mars, humanity's greatest odyssey. The final frontier that beckons us with its mysteries does not hang suspended in the cosmos, but pulsates right here in our home. It envelops us, sustains us, and defines the very color of our planet. It is the global ocean. On its surface, it dances with sunlight, a shimmering mirror that reflects our skies and beckons with inviting beauty. But behind this often calm facade lies an abyss of unimaginable power and ancient secrets, covering more than 2/3 of the Earth. It is not a collection of separate oceans, but a single colossal body of water, a planetary circulatory system connecting continents, cultures, and ecosystems. The names we give it, Atlantic, Pacific, Indian, Arctic, Southern, are just chapters in a single epic liquid story. This blue giant is the architect of our world. Not only does it house most of the life on Earth, it also acts as its heart and lungs. Its currents, like invisible arteries, transport heat from the tropics to the poles, governing the climate and making vast regions of the planet habitable. At the same time, phytoplankton, these microalgae that float in its upper layers, carry out photosynthesis on a massive scale, generating more than half of the oxygen that fills our lungs with each breath. We are, at our core, creatures of the ocean, connected to it in ways we are only beginning to understand. To understand the depth of our connection to the ocean, we need to take a trip back in time, a journey back almost 4 billion years, to a past when Earth itself was an alien world. Imagine a young planet, bombarded by meteorites with a dense, almost unbreathable atmosphere, and a surface covered in volcanoes and incandescent rock. And yet, in the midst of this chaos, there was already water, a primordial ocean, hot, acidic, and laden with dissolved chemical elements from the Earth's crust. It was at the bottom of this primeval ocean, in a realm of total darkness and crushing pressure, that the greatest miracle of all occurred. Hydrothermal vents, true underwater forges, emerged in tectonic fissures. These natural chimneys expelled superheated jets of water rich in minerals and compounds such as hydrogen sulfide, methane, and ammonia. They were the chemical engine of a young planet. In this extreme environment, on the border between volcanic heat and abyssal cold, chemistry became biology. Simple molecules, energized by heat and catalyzed by clay minerals, began to join together, forming complex organic compounds. Amino acids, the building blocks of protein, lipids, which would form the first cell membranes, and nucleotides, the letters of the genetic code. In this cauldron of creation, inert matter crossed the threshold, organizing itself into the first structures capable of replicating themselves. The first spark of life did not fall from the sky, it emerged from the depths. Every living being today, including you, carries in their DNA the ancestral memory of that decisive moment. From that first spark in the dark depths, life not only survived, it flourished with exuberant and relentless creativity. The ocean became the first and largest laboratory of evolution. For more than 3 billion years, life was an exclusively aquatic and largely microscopic spectacle. But beneath the surface, the genetic code was being tested, refined, and diversified at a dizzying pace. The stage was being set for nature's greatest act of creation. Then about 540 million years ago, something extraordinary happened, the Cambrian explosion. In the blink of a geological eye, multicellular life exploded into myriad complex and sometimes bizarre forms. It was as if evolution had discovered its palette of paints and begun to paint its masterpieces. The first predators with eyes and claws, the first creatures with shells and skeletons appeared. Almost every major animal body plan, phyla, that exists today had its origins in this creative frenzy in the sea. It was as if evolution had discovered its palette of paints and begun to paint its masterpieces. The first predators with eyes and claws appeared, the first creatures with shells and skeletons. From the microscopic phytoplankton that formed the basis of the entire marine food chain to the largest animal that ever existed, the blue whale, whose heart is the size of a car, corals that build vibrant underwater cities, fish that generate their own light in the abyssal depths, and octopuses. It is estimated that up to 90% of the species that live in the ocean have not yet been discovered, cataloged, or even seen by human eyes. Every dive into the abyss is a chance to find a new chapter in the story of life. The ocean is not a uniform environment. It is a multi-story cathedral, a series of vertically stacked worlds, each defined and governed by a primary force, sunlight. Our journey to the bottom of the sea begins in the most familiar and, paradoxically, most productive realm of all. The first 200 meters of depth form the euphotic zone, or the sunlight zone. This is the bright, pulsating engine of the entire ocean. Here, sunlight penetrates with enough energy to drive photosynthesis, feeding the vast, invisible fields of phytoplankton. This microscopic soup of life is the basis of the entire marine food chain and, as we have seen, the source of more than half of our oxygen. It's a world of vibrant colors and frenetic activity. It's home to the rainforests of the sea, coral reefs, living structures built over millennia that are home to a quarter of all known marine species. It is also the stage for great open ocean hunts, where schools of tuna move like silver rivers, dolphins cooperate in complex strategies, and sharks patrol like ancient guardians. The vast majority of marine life we know and the fisheries that sustain us thrive in this energetic surface layer. But this vibrant world has a clear limit, and to find it, you just have to look down. Below 200 meters, the familiarity of the solar world dissolves into a domain of eternal twilight, the mesopelagic zone, better known as the twilight zone. Here, between 200 and 1,000 meters deep, sunlight is a mere whisper, a blue memory that fades with every passing meter. There is not enough light for photosynthesis, so there are no plants. Pressure builds relentlessly and temperatures plummet. Life here operates under a completely different set of rules. Survival in this shadow world requires extraordinary adaptations. The eyes become telescopes, disproportionately large and sensitive, pointed upward to capture the last photons of light. Bodies become invisible. Many are gelatinous and transparent, like glass squids and jellyfish, true ghosts in the shadows. Others adopt a deep red pigmentation, which in practice works like an invisibility cloak, since the red light of the solar spectrum does not penetrate these depths. It is also the first realm where bioluminescence becomes a universal language. But here, living light is used less for display and more for the art of deception. Creatures like hatchetfish have light-producing organs, photophores, on their bellies. They use them to produce a soft glow that exactly matches the dim light coming from above, a camouflage technique called counter-illumination, which blurs their silhouette and hides them from predators lurking below. But the greatest secret of this kingdom is a daily event of epic proportions, the largest migration on our planet. At dusk, trillions of krill, squid and small fish begin a mass vertical journey to feed in the plankton-rich surface waters, returning to the safety of the depths before dawn. This colossal movement is the main biological pump that transports energy from the surface to the abyss, powering the world of total darkness that exists just below. Below 1,000 meters, we cross the final threshold and enter a world that has never seen a ray of sunlight. Welcome to the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone. Here, between 1,000 and 4,000 meters, darkness is not a nocturnal event, but an eternal and absolute condition. The pressure is colossal, reaching 400 times that of the surface, the equivalent of balancing a double-decker bus on a coin. The water temperature hovers just above freezing point. This is, by volume, the largest ecosystem on the planet, and also one of the most challenging. Life here is shaped by scarcity. The only source of energy reaching this world is sea snow, a slow, steady rain of organic debris, animal remains, fecal matter, and dead plankton that descends from the upper layers. Surviving here is a lesson in opportunism and energy efficiency. Metabolisms are slow, movements are calculated to avoid wasting energy, and meals are rare. It is in this realm of deprivation that evolution becomes a surrealist artist. sculpting creatures that seem to have come straight out of science fiction. It's home to the angler devilfish, the female with her iconic bioluminescent lure dangling from a maw, full of needle-like teeth, luring unsuspecting prey in the darkness. The male, in one of nature's most extreme adaptations, is a tiny parasite that fuses with the female's body, a radical solution to the problem of finding a mate in the dark vastness. Here lives the swallower, with its elastic mouth and stomach, capable of devouring prey larger than itself. If the twilight zone used light to hide, the midnight zone uses it to reveal itself. Bioluminescence is the dominant language. Lures to attract, flashes to communicate, and bursts of light to confuse and escape. It's a silent symphony of light in the darkest desert on Earth. When it seems impossible to descend any further, the ocean reveals itself to be even deeper, with two final levels, the abyssal zone and the hadal zone. From 4,000 meters, we enter the abyss, a word derived from the Greek for bottomless. It's a world of seemingly endless mudflats, shrouded in millennia-long darkness and a biting cold, barely above freezing. The pressure here is incomprehensible, crushing with the force of hundreds of atmospheres. Life here is slow, strange, and scarce, composed of creatures that have developed a unique biochemistry, with special molecules called piezolites, to prevent their cells and proteins from being crushed. Yet even in this vast desert, a single event can generate an explosion of life that lasts decades. A carcass drop. When a whale dies on the surface, its massive body sinks for days until it rests at the bottom of the abyss. This carcass is a gift of energy, an oasis amid scarcity. Within hours, it is found by sleepy sharks and hagfish, the first to arrive. After the flesh is gone, an entire ecosystem develops around the bones, including specialized worms, the ossidacs, which feed on the lipids contained in the skeleton. A single whale can sustain a complex community for more than 50 years. And below the abyss, at 6,000 meters, we find the final domain, the hadal zone, named after Hades, the Greek god of the underworld. This is not a world of plains, but of ocean trenches, immense, isolated canyons that form the deepest scars on Earth, like the Mariana Trench. Far from being empty, these canyons act as funnels, concentrating marine snow and creating surprisingly active pockets of life. It was here, at almost 8,000 meters, that we discovered the Mariana snailfish, an ethereal, ghostly creature that swims peacefully under pressure. When it seems impossible to descend any further, the ocean reveals itself to be even deeper. Life, in its tenacity, completely ignores our notions of impossible. After our journey to the most remote and deepest corners of the planet, we return to the surface to confront the most complex and contradictory relationship of all, ours with the ocean. Since the dawn of civilization, it has been our provider, our path, and our muse. It feeds billions of people, serving as the primary source of protein for countless coastal communities. Their surfaces are the highways of the global economy, through which more than 90% of all the goods we buy and sell travel. It fills our mythologies with gods and monsters, inspires our art with its beauty and power, and offers us an endless horizon for adventure, recreation, and spiritual peace. However, this ancient relationship of dependence and reverence has been transformed, in the last century, into an era of industrial-scale exploitation. This is the great human paradox. We are systematically wounding the blue heart that keeps us alive. Our hunger and technology have allowed us to develop fishing fleets, capable of emptying parts of the ocean faster than nature can replenish them, pushing many species to the brink of extinction. Methods like bottom trawling plow the seabed, annihilating complex ecosystems in minutes, like cold water coral gardens that took centuries to grow. And our most visible trail is trash. The ocean is drowning in plastic. It's estimated that a truckload of plastic is dumped into its waters every minute. This material breaks down into microplastics, a toxic, invisible dust that has already infiltrated the entire food chain. From the plankton it eats to the fish we eat. We, the only species on Earth aware of our oceanic origins and capable of understanding their importance, have ironically become the most disruptive and damaging geological force to our own creator. Beyond the visible scars of overfishing and plastic, a quieter, more invisible, and deeper threat is altering the very fundamental chemistry of the ocean. For decades, the ocean has acted as the planet's great protector, a silent hero that shielded us from the worst effects of climate change. For decades, the ocean has acted as the planet's greatest protector, a silent hero that shielded us from the worst effects of climate change. It has functioned like a giant thermostat, absorbing more than 90% of the excess heat trapped by greenhouse gases. And it acted like a colossal carbon sponge, dissolving nearly a third of all the carbon dioxide we emit into its waters. But this heroic service comes at a devastating cost. The protector is overwhelmed. Ocean fever caused by this absorbed heat is causing mass bleaching of coral reefs on a global scale. This phenomenon drives out the vital algae that live in symbiosis with the corals, leaving behind ghostly white and dying underwater cities. Warmer waters also supercharge hurricanes and typhoons, making them more intense and dangerous. Meanwhile, excess dissolved CO2 is causing the other CO2 problem, ocean acidification. The chemistry is simple and relentless. CO2 reacts with seawater to form carbonic acid, lowering the ocean's pH. It's a veritable osteoporosis of the sea. This rising acidity makes it increasingly difficult for countless creatures, from corals and clams to tiny winged snails called pteropods, to build and maintain their shells. We are literally dissolving the building blocks of marine life. The giant that protected us is injured. Its temperature rises and its breath turns acidic. Our journey has taken us from the cradle of life, in the dark hot springs, to its most extreme frontiers in the abyss. It has revealed to us a biodiversity that surpasses fiction and, finally, confronted us with the trace of our own passage. We saw the beauty, the power, the fragility, and the wound. The question that remains is not whether the ocean will survive life. Somehow, it always finds a way. The question is whether it will survive in a form that can still sustain our civilization. But at the beating heart of the ocean lies an extraordinary force that offers us hope, resilience. Where we give the ocean a chance, it recovers with a speed and vigor that can surprise us. In marine protected areas, free from the constant pressure of industrial fishing and pollution, entire ecosystems flourish again. Fish return, corals regenerate, life reclaims its rightful place. This proves that the damage in many cases is not permanent. Healing is possible, but the window of time for us to act is closing. The solution won't come from a single miracle, but from a collective tide of change. It requires global cooperation to drastically reduce carbon emissions and create a circular economy that eliminates plastic waste. It demands that science and exploration continue to illuminate the unknown, for we cannot protect what we do not understand. And above all, it demands a profound shift in perspective. We need to evolve from a relationship of extraction to one of stewardship and coexistence. We need to see the ocean not as a resource to be exploited to exhaustion, but as the source of our very existence. The future of humanity will not be written in the stars, but in the currents and tides of our blue planet. Every drop of water, every breath we take, connects us to this vast and unique ocean. Protecting its future is the most urgent task and the greatest legacy of our generation.